I'm Mr. Seinamon, and today we're going to be doing 1-point perspective, and it's going to be a normal speed, so it'll be nice and slow for those of you who need help with seeing how it's done. You notice I draw a horizon line first, and I have to apologize, the horizon line is a little off center. It's a little tilted to one side, but that's okay. Next step is we're going to draw a vanishing point. The vanishing point connects to everything in your picture. Everything. Then we're going to draw a road from the vanishing point, diagonal line there, and the width of the road looks like that, so from that point as well. Then we're going to be drawing a sidewalk just on one side of the street from the vanishing point again, using a ruler. And then we will draw the first building. Now I'm going to be using the edge of the paper, which you can't see. So I'll use my pencil to make sure that the ruler is perfectly square. So by holding the pencil at the edge of the paper, I'm moving the pencil down, and that's my way of telling that it's 90 degrees. So it just kind of extends the pencil out. Vertical line first, and again, squared up with that vertical line or parallel to the bottom edge of the paper. I'm going to make a horizontal line. That's the foot of the building. And then another vertical line, also parallel with the first vertical line we drew. And then a horizontal line. You notice it's parallel with the horizon line. And there you go. I have one little tiny bit that's left over. Now from that corner is already set. I already have the sidewalk, but we need from that top left corner to the vanishing point. So I'm going to be drawing a line from the top left corner to the vanishing point. And it's not going to go all the way because I want my building to end right there. Now a vertical line, parallel with that first vertical line, and down to the sidewalk. So that is the first building. And now a word from our sponsors. Use a ruler! So, now that that's out of the way, we're going to draw the next building. And this one's shorter than the other one, so we're drawing that first horizontal line. And then the vertical line is parallel with that first building down to the sidewalk. And then a horizontal line that is going to go across. So you can see right on the bottom there, there's a little tiny triangle I'm going to form. And that just gives like an alleyway between the building, the small building and the large one. But it's both parallel with the horizon line. Now a line to the vanishing point using a ruler. You notice everything goes to the vanishing point. Don't forget that. That's why it's 1-point perspective. Vertical line there. And then we will finish this building with another horizontal line. Okay, I'm going to add a third building now. So you see I'm squaring up the ruler. And the third building, I'm starting with that alleyway, and then a vertical line that meets the diagonal, or also known as the orthogonal, the line that leads to the vanishing point. And now a line straight across. And it has to be parallel with all the other horizontal lines. Oh wait, first I guess I'll do a vertical line. Now a horizontal line to finish off this building here. That's the front side, and then the back side is going to be also drawn with a horizontal line, and then I'm just going to decide on the width of the building so it doesn't go very far back. And then just cleaning up my extra lines there. Okay, now I'm going to draw a door for this front building. And the door facing us is going to be a square rectangle, parallel to the sides of the building. So first a vertical line, that's the height of the door. Now a horizontal line. Notice my ruler is parallel to the horizon line. That's the width of the door. And now another vertical line to finish the door. Okay, so I'm going to draw a second door, but I'm going to measure the top of that door to the corner of the wall as my reference point. So the same size door is going to be wrapped around the side of the building in perspective. So now I connect from the vanishing point to that reference point, and I draw a little dashed line. That's the height of the door. Now a vertical line parallel with the corner of the building becomes one side of the door, and then where that top line ends, another vertical line. So now we have a door that's the same height as the one facing us, but it's a little further up the street in perspective. And then I'm going ahead and I'm going to draw a person as reference. So if the door is that tall, a person is going to be just underneath that height. I know it's really small, it's hard to see, but that's a person. Just trust me. Because our next step is going to be to draw a car. So I need to know the height of a person to get the size of the car. So the first step we will do for a car is to draw the grille, or the back end of the car in this case. So there is a horizontal line, again parallel with the horizon line. Then we have one vertical line. I'm going to zoom in a little bit because there's some details we need to see. And then another horizontal line that just happens to hit the sidewalk. It does create a bit of a tangent, which could be a problem if this were an art piece. But for this case, it makes it one step easier for us, because now I connect the corners to the vanishing point. And you notice that top right corner touching the sidewalk is already done for us. So now those two corners are connected towards the vanishing point. You notice they're not drawn all the way. And then a vertical line to finish off that car. So you notice I start with a vertical line, I finish with a vertical line. I start with horizontal lines here, so that's the bumper. And then if this car had no cab, if it were a rectangular shape, I would end that with another horizontal line on the back. But in this case, I'm going to draw some details. These are the tail lights. And then this is the back window of the car. It has a slight curve to it. And then to create the entire window, or the cab of the car where people sit, we have those angled lines coming up. And then from those corners, now I can draw to the vanishing point. And this is going to be the top, the roof of the car, and then I'm just connecting that. And then there's the windshield in the front, and then we're dividing the windows up, creating the wheel wells, and I'm drawing a reference line underneath the car for where both tires will hit the ground. And then I build a very, very sharp oval coming down from the car, hitting that line on the street, and then getting some thickness to the tire. And then a rear view mirror and some reflections in the window. And I realize I don't like how I drew that front part of the car. It's too short. It's like cut off. It looks awkward. And it also lines up with the roof. So I'm going to redraw that. And you'll see how it improves a little bit. So again, redrawing those lines from the body of the car going a little bit further. So I'm extending the hood. And then finishing that off with a vertical line and then a horizontal line. That's a little bit better. And then I will draw in, I still have a ghost line for where that tire hits the road, so I can still see that. And there's the new tire. And then a rear view mirror. And it's very boxy. If this were a specific type of car or sports car, I would go in and round out some of those harsh angles, or just reference a car from a photo. Okay, now we'll draw a tree. And trees, any organic shape, is actually really easy with perspective. So there's the tree top, the canopy of the tree, and then I'm drawing the branches, which lead down to the tree trunk. Keep in mind the tree must remain vertical because trees grow straight up. A lot of people draw their trees at weird angles, thinking that because the vanishing point is at an angle from the tree, they have to draw it also at an angle. Try to break that habit. And you can see now I'm shaping the tree. I'm deciding the size of it by drawing those lines, those orthogonals, and then several spheres, and then detailing those with leaf shapes. the leaf shapes should get tinier as it goes in the distance. Okay, so here we go. Here's the trunk of the tree. And I'm going to make a reference line which happens to line up with the bottom canopy line. But you notice that those tree trunks are vertical. Okay, now for some clouds. You notice I just drew just some random shape, and I'm lining up my ruler to the vanishing point and the edges of the clouds, the outer edges. And that creates some reference for my next cloud. And there we go. There's a row all finished for us. A row of clouds, just 2 clouds. I'm going to mix it up and add a UFO. Why not? UFO right there. And then I'm going to draw a line from the vanishing point to the outer edge and out, and then the top and outer edge there. And that gives us a reference point for the size of the disk as another UFO is in formation. This is pretty freaky, all these UFOs. I wonder what the driver of the car is thinking. So there's another UFO. All right, let's throw one more in. Let's really freak out this poor driver. So I start off with that horizontal disk, and then I build onto that, because the disk is the reference point that I have the orthogonals drawn to. Okay, I think I need to divide the street up into lanes, or just divide it in half. So what I'm doing is I'm finding a point on my ruler where I can break down the width of the street exactly in half. So you can see the 5 and the 7, the 6 is right in the middle. So it's 2 inches right there. I make a little dot at the 1 inch mark, or the 6 inch mark. And then I'm going to line my ruler up to the vanishing point and make several little dashes that get larger and further apart as they come forward. And I'll do the same just on the other side of the dot. I'm not lining up to the dot. I'm moving the ruler just outside, just to the right of it. And I will do the same thing. This time I have reference though. I'll make those lines the exact same length and spacing as the first ones I drew, so I can see what I'm doing now. And now the lane is getting smaller into the distance. The last step is to cap off each line of those dividing lines with a horizontal line. A lot of people, a lot of students I've seen draw these lines just haphazardly or at weird angles, and it makes the street look like it's at an angle. So please keep these lines right here flat. I know it seems insignificant or tedious, but it's very important. I'm just going to sketch these last ones in, but you get the idea. Flat lines lined up with the horizon line. Okay, I'm going to shift the camera over a bit and draw a row of houses. Houses are similar to buildings. These are going to be all the same size, but I just wanted to show you this shape. So I'm drawing a flat line, horizontal line, parallel with the horizon line, 2 vertical lines, and then 2 angled lines representing the roof. Very simple house. Just a boxy, simple style house. From the top of the roof to the vanishing point, using a ruler, I'm going to draw a long line. And then from the edge of the roof and the wall, another line. And then the base of the house, a line from the corner to the vanishing point. And now I can draw from that a row of houses. So first, I'm going to finish off this house with a vertical line, just like that. I'm going to finish with a vertical line. And I should be using a ruler, but that's okay. Then we have an angled line. I finish with an angled line. Whatever line you start with in a row or a path, you finish with that same angle. Now I'm going to draw the next house. So there is the side, the wall, and there's the roof angle. Now I have to figure out the width of it. So I'm going to draw another line from that left corner and another line from the lower left corner. And those are going to serve as reference to how far across I draw for the base of the house. I should be using a ruler, so please use a ruler when you do this. In fact, you can see it looks kind of sloppy. And then, why aren't I using a ruler? I'm so lazy. Okay, angled line. And then we have a vertical line, so they match up. And now one more house, and I'm still not using a ruler. Shame, shame. Don't do what I'm doing. But I've freehanded enough to where it's decent. So please use a ruler if you're first starting with drawing. And there we have a third house, using all those reference points that lead to the vanishing point. Okay, what to do next? Oh, you know what? Let's add windows to this building. So first, the edge of the building, or the edge of the windows, that's the height of them, so the vertical line. And then a couple dashed lines to the vanishing point. So they're the top of the windows, and we'll have 3 windows total. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to finish off those windows with vertical lines parallel to the edges of the building. A lot of students, I think, don't use rulers, just like as you saw I did. I failed to use a ruler with those houses because it's very tedious. Perspective is it's kind of a pain if you want to get to the fun stuff like coloring or adding monsters or fun stuff. Here we go. Let's add something fun, like a giant deadly pothole in the middle of the road. That's casual and fun. Okay, so the lines are from the outer edges of that pothole of doom, and then I'm going to just add some crack textural marks here in the street, just to give it some effect, and then vertical lines to show that it does go down, it recedes into the ground. And another one, vertical lines, and why not one more? Caltrans, get out here, I've got some problematic roads. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.